to stop. We carry on. Continue to dream and create. We don't just work with what we know. We innovate to adapt. So you can drive your career forward. We don't just make you feel welcome. We provide everyone an equal opportunity to succeed. We don't stop at just enough. We go extra to care and provide, so you can brave the world safely. Times aren't the same, but we've always been different. We are Concentrix. We dream different. We create different. We embrace different.
I raised my game to provide a home, and I'm rewarded a happy life.
Not just dreaming of a better future, I'm living my best life now.
And although technology can virtually bring us together, it is our dreams that keep us connected. We are home with ROC Residences.
Kaya na ma'am,
Ganda ba?
medyo konti. Ito na malapit na.
Bilis ang Eric kasi nagugutom na.
Kulang ako sa kulay eh. Ayun o. Ayun o.
Kasi sa chopping board mo.
Hindi po chopping board, ma'am. Wait lang, okay, balik ko.
Eric, hindi ko na kaya. Sorry Kasi hindi na yung mga schoolmates
Bye!
natin.
Nagbabalik ang inyong online tambayan dito sa Pamantasan. Ako si Eric.
Maghahatid ka naman everything you have to know. Ako, si Yel.
Tampok ang mga nakaka-proud at tuwarang PUPians.
Muli nyo kami makakasama dito sa
Pinakausap-usapan
sa Pamantasan. Alam mo, Eric, na ang bilis ng panahon. Biruin mo, tapos na naman ang isang buwan ng taon na to,
Yes,
di ba?
ma'am, di ba? Third
Baka New
month
Year
na agad,
lang, oo,
ma'am.
tama.
Malapit na, ilan na lang. Sobra, ilan na lang.
Pero alam mo, Eric, bago natin namnamin ang buwan na ito, gusto ko lang malaman o balikan yung mga nangyari nung nakaraang buwan.
Ayun,
diba?
ma'am, pero-
Bukod sa naging third wheel ka, aminin mo.
Grabe yun, mama. Pero nga po, di ba, ma'am, napakarami naganap ngayong February, lalo na po tinagurian itong Arts Month.
Tama ka dyan, Eric. Kaya nga tampok sa episode natin na ito ay yung mga topic na medyo artsy o may mga kinalaman sa arts.
Ano kaya? Ano ko, mama? Ano kaya yung mga na-excite na talaga po ako talaga dyan?
Ito, unahin na natin, Eric. Alam mo ba, tampok sa episode ngayon ng Now You Know ay isang struktura o lugar na sa ating sintang paral na napaka-importante sa atin.
Ayan,
Kasi dito ginaganap at ang iba't ibang performances o mga events ng ating
Ayun,
university.
yung mga ano dyan, ma'am, theater play.
Yes,
ganun.
theater play,
Pero, ma'am, alam niyo po,
musical.
meron po akong hint dyan eh. Parang familiar na sa akin yung lugar na yan eh.
Alam mo, dapat lang, kasi sa college nyo to.
Kaya nga po, may hint. Medyo may,
May hint,
lang.
diba? Pero alam mo, para malaman ang history about dito, panoorin mo to.
Ayan, ma'am.
Kaliwat ka ng mga selebrasyon ang ipinagdiriwang ng ating sintang paaralan. At syempre, isa na riyan ang sining na tinatangkilik ng ating mga scholar ng bayan. At bahagi sa pagtangkilik sa sining na ito, ang mga pagtatanghal na sinasagawa sa ating teatro. Pero mga schoolmates, nakabisita na ba kayo sa ating University Theater? Everything you have to know, dito sa Now You Know.
Tanghalang PUP yan. Polytechnic University of the Philippines din. Tanghalang PUP. Oo, tanghalang PUP ang tanghala ng bayan.
Tungki 2014, inopisyan na tawaging University Theater o tanghalang PUP ang tanghalan ng bayan, ang istruktura na dating mas kinilala bilang COC Theater na nasa ilalim ng pamamahalan ng University Center for Culture and the Arts o UCCA. Ang pagpapatayo nito ay pinangunahan ng dating Dean ng Kolehiyo na si Dr. Rustica Carpio para maging lugar sa mga gaganaping produksyon ng mga mag-aaral mula sa College of Languages and Mass Communication at para sa bagong programang AB Theater Arts noong 2003.
Dito pinarangalan si Nora Honor. Dinala siya ng Alliance of Concerned Teachers dito at dito natin siya pinarangalan. We don't have that much but Nora Honor was telling ito ang pinakamasarap na award kasi nandito yung masa.
Bukod dito, Nanay Maming the Musical, ang pinag-uusig at mabuhay ang bagong kasal ni Bonifacio Ilagan ang ilan sa mga pagtatanghal na naganap sa University Theater. Sa kasalukuyan, patuloy na sinusuportahan ng tanghalang PUP ang iba't ibang produksyon at aktibidad ng mga organisasyon sa loob ng sintang paaralan, pang-akademiko man o hindi.
Mahalaga na meron tayong university theater para magkaroon tayo ng isang legitimate space. Ang teatro ay isang, kumbaga, espasyo para may pahayag ang ating, o may express ang ating creativity.
Talaga namang naging saksi at tanghalang PUP sa mga makukulay na pagtatanghal at aktibidad ng mga isko at iska sa ating sintang paaralan. Naway maging tanglaw ang University Theater upang mamulat tayo sa tunay na kahalagahan ng ating kultura at sine para sa ating mga scholar ng bayan.
Wow, ma'am, talagang grabe! Grabe, ma'am. Ang dami palang naganap na happenings and events na dyan sa PP Theater.
Tama, Eric. Alam mo, isa tong malaking parte ng ating university kasi marami ng matagumpay na performance at events ang nangyari dito, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Ang naganap
Kaya-
dito.
Kaya nga, ma'am, parang gusto ko
Ang ginagawa mo, Eric, ano? Eric,
Hindi, ma'am, gusto ko po mag-perform eh.
Eric, wag naman dito. Siyempre doon na
Hindi.
sa theater,
Sige
di
po,
ba?
ma'am.
Para
Sorry,
feel na
ma'am.
feel mo yung ano,
Sorry
vibe.
po. Pero medyo na-miss ko lang kasi Sir Dennis, ma'am eh.
Oo
Kasi
nga
bigla,
eh.
di ba, ma'am, biglang magpa-perform na lang gumagano.
Habang nag-ghost, di ba? Alam mo si Sir Dennis yan, sasayaw talaga habang nag-ghost kasi di na pakabog.
Yes, ma'am. Ayaw niya po
Diba?
talaga magpakabog, ma'am.
Tama.
Pero, ma'am, nabanggit niya po ba sa inyo
Ang alin?
na may kinita siyang PUP alumni?
Anong ginawa nila?
Ma'am, hindi po kasi dito po nagtuturo ngayon yun sa Sintang Paaralan.
So ayan na naman nga sinasabi ko. Kaya wala nga si Sir Dennis, pinuntahan niya para interviewin.
Yes, tama, Ma'am Yel. At para malaman natin kung sino nga po ang kasama ni Sir Dennis,
Sige, panoorin natin.
panoorin natin ang
Sofa Session!
Halina't kumustahin at kilalanin ang mga nakaka-proud at huwarang PUP and alumni all over the world. Ako si Sir D at ito ang Sofa Session. Scholar ng bayan noon, scholar para sa bayan ngayon.
Nagtapos siya ng Bachelor of Accountancy Batch 1993. Nagpamana siya ng galing sa paglikha ng iba't ibang mga kahanga-hangang obra. Dahil dito ay kaliwat kanan ang mga natanggap niyang parangal mula sa loob at labas ng bansa bilang pagkilala sa kanyang ipinamalas ng husay at galing. Sa kasalukuyan ay patuloy siyang naglalakbay upang maipagmalaki at makilala sa buong mundo ang kulturang Pilipino.
Estudyante noon, artista ng bayan ngayon. Schoolmates, let us all welcome Mr. Boyet de Mesa! Yes! Hi sir, magandang umaga po. Please have a seat po. Yan. Ako, nakaka-proud no, na, at nakaka-amaze na ngayon po ay nakadaupang palad ko ang isang highly recognized na visual artist all over the world, di ba sir? Congratulations po pala. Yeah. And by the way, speaking of visual artist, pwede po ba natin i-define ng kaunti yung ano ba ang, or sino ba ang isang visual artist?
Sige, ang visual artist ay artist na nag-express through visual. So, kadalasan yan, makikita mo ang result niyan to painting,
Yes.
sculpture, performance, installation art, saka iba-iba pang media.
Oh.
Basta magagamit mo yung sense mo ng seeing.
Seeing, yeah, kaya siya visual.
Visual.
So, expressing your emotions through those things. Anyway, sir, ngayon po ay welcome po sa ating pong Sofa Sessions, and meron lang po tayong mga ilang mga katanungan po na kailangan niyo pong sagutin para mas lalong ma-inspire ang ating po mga schoolmates or mga scholar ng bayan. Okay po? So, handa na po ba kayo, sir?
Ready na.
Yes. So, ito po ang mga questions, no? Una-una ay, kumusta ang pagiging estudyante noon sa PUP?
Mahilig kami sa pagpunta sa mga gigs.
Okay,
Kasi marami kami natutunan doon. So, uso yung pamorningan sa mga concerts. So, punta kami kahit saan. So, sundan namin yung mga indie, independent artists. Namulat ako sa visual art dito sa PUP kasi may grupo dito, ang pangalan ay Panday Pira.
Panday Pira.
Andayan ng Pilipinong kultura. So,
Ay, wow.
visual group siya.
Visual group.
Late 80s.
Late 80s.
Tapos, di ba, lagi tayong meron ditong freshman orientation.
Apo.
So, nandun kami, nakapanood ako. Yung buong gym natin, merong isang malaking canvas do, tapos nagpipinta sila. Marami sila. So, siguro mga 30 minutes, natapos nila yung painting na malaki. Tapos doon ako namangha kasi ginawa nila ng sama-sama. Dahil mahilig na ako mag-drawing.
Opo.
So, pumunta na ako sa Panday Pira.
Ang galing. So, saludo kami sa mga Panday Pira, no? Next question, paano po naapektuhan ng sining ang buhay po ninyo? And ano ang dahilan kung bakit po ito ninyo napili na career?
Dahil nga, ang art ay nagbibigay sa iyo ng laya.
Yes, freedom.
Freedom, tapos ang art ay, kumbaga, walang boundaries. So, lahat ng bagay pwedeng i-discuss, malakayin. Tingin ko mahalagang bagay yun sa atin na malaya natin napapayag ang sarili natin. So,
Na with no restrictions, kumbaga.
Tagpuan ko itong performance art na pwede palang mag-perform ka mag-isa. Hindi siya teatro, pero hindi ka nagpipinta kasi sa painting, di ba, ikaw at yung canvas.
Yes, sir.
Ang emosyon mo napupunta sa canvas.
Yes.
Pwede pala yung body mo
mismo ikaw
ang
mismo.
canvas.
Yeah.
So nakadagdag din sa drive ko yun dahil itong medium na ito ay malaya ng magagamit.
And it's a unique way of expressing our emotions.
Tapos meron pang movements sa labas ng bansa o sa mundo na gumagawa ng ganito.
Ay, ang galing.
So parang ito rin ay venue para sa solidarity ng Pilipino sa ibang bansa.
Kumbaga, this is an avenue to connect with other nationalities, kumbaga, all over the world. Wow! May mga hikain ganun. Naku, ito po ay last na, sayang, no? I hope we could have enough time para po makapagkwentuhan pa tayo. But nasa huling katanungan na po tayo. Anong maipapayo po ninyo sa mga PUP-yan na may talento at puso sa sining?
Siguro, kunin ko yung sinabi ng isang artist na mentor ko. Gawa lang tayo ng gawa. Tapos yung gawa na yan ay masasalang sa kritisismo.
Yes.
Maganda o di maganda ang kritisismo, kailangan may matututunan ka.
Yes.
Huwag ka lang titigil. Kaya gawa lang ng gawa.
Wow. So it's like the element of being intentional and at the same time being accepting or, you know, having the acceptance dun sa mga kritisismo sa'yo kasi dun ka mag-grow. Maraming salamat, Sir Boyet. At sana marami tayong natutunan mga schoolmates mula sa mga experiences ni Sir Boyet. At sana ipagpatuloy din natin ang pagtangkilik at pagpapalaganap ng ating sining. Gamitin natin itong instrumento sa pagtuklas at pagpapahayag ng ating kultura. And on that note, muli ako si Sir D hanggang sa susunod nating episode dito sa Sofa Session. Scholar ng bayan noon, scholar para sa bayan ngayon. Bye! Sir, thank you so much po. God bless po. Ayun.
Grabe, Eric, talaga namang maipagmamalaki natin ang obra at sining na gawang PUP yan at patunay si Sir Boyet dyan, di ba?
Yes po. At ayan po, mama, di ba? Isang huwaran at idolo namin ng mga kapwa ko schoolmates yan, ma'am. Salute!
Tama. At alam mo, si Sir Boyet ay isang inspirasyon, lalo na sa mga schoolmates natin, na may puso para sa sining.
Talaga nga naman na ang buwan ng Pebrero ay hindi lang #love, love, love, kundi #puso para sa sining din.
Tama ka, tala mo. Sana ang buwan na ito ay maging hitik rin sa malikhaing kaalaman ng ating mga schoolmates at bagong kaalaman sa sintang paaralan.
Kaya naman, para subaybayan ang mga kaganapan dito sa sintang paaralan, abangan pa natin ang iba't ibang happenings sa susunod na mga episodes.
O kaya mga schoolmates, para maging updated sa mga usap-usapan, don't forget to follow our social media accounts.
Yes, just search for www.facebook.com/PUPCreative and follow us on Twitter at PUPTV.
At of course, subscribe na rin kayo sa aming YouTube channel at PUP Creative. At syempre, i-share nyo ang episode na ito at iba pa naming episodes.
O kaya mga schoolmates, hanggang sa susunod na usapan dito sa paborito nating online tambayan, ito ang
Pinakausap-usapan sa pamantasan! O, artsy ka, diba?
Ayan na, itutuloy ko po pala yung...
Mona Lisa na ba yan?
Opo, patapos na to eh. Medyo walang kilay lang talaga siya.
Sana sinabi parang hindi na lang nagpilay talaga.
Patapos na.
Sofa.
Sofa session. Sofa session!
Huwag mong bilisan. Sofa session.
Sofa session! Ayan mga schoolmates. Hanggang sa susunod na usapan sa paborito nating online tambayan, ito ang...
Pinakausap.
Adyo pala kayo. Ito ang inyong online tambayan. Galing.
Welcome to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, the country's first Polytechnic U. PUP is a state-run university governed by the Republic Act 8292, known as the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, and its implementing rules and regulations contained in the Commission on Higher Education Memorandum Circular No. 4, Series of 1997. It is home to more than 70,000 students, making it the largest state university in the Philippines in terms of student population. It is the university's commitment to give qualified and talented students access to quality and responsive education to aid them in the achievement of their dreams and the improvement of their lives. True to its commitment of making education accessible to all, the university has strategically established campuses and branches all over Luzon. PUP boasts of its roster of 1,483 full-time and part-time faculty members and 707 administrative employees. The faculty members and employees perform the collective goal of training, servicing, and supporting the university's stakeholders. From its humble beginnings in 1904, PUP was originally established as the Manila Business School primarily for the training of personnel for government service and to provide skills needed for private employment. 4 years later, the Manila Business School was renamed Philippine School of Commerce or PSC and merged with the Philippine Normal School through the virtue of Republic Act 778. PSC was renamed to Philippine College of Commerce or PCC in 1952. In April 1, 1978, PCC was converted into a chartered state university now known as the Polytechnic University of the Philippines by virtue of Presidential Decree Number 1341. PUP truly has come a long way from a business school to a premier polytechnic university, the very first in the country. Every year, around 50,000 graduating high school students, mostly from economically challenged families, take the Polytechnic University of the Philippines College Entrance Test or PUPSET and hope to become one of the 10,000 who will be given a chance to be new PUPians. At present, the university offers more than 80 programs in the graduate and undergraduate levels with its strategic direction of making the colleges vertically articulated. Graduate School, College of Accountancy and Finance, College of Arts and Letters, College of Architecture and Fine Arts, College of Business Administration, College of Communication, College of Computer and Information Sciences, College of Education, College of Engineering, College of Law, College of Political Science and Public Administration, College of Social Sciences and Development, College of Science, College of Tourism, Hospitality and Transportation Management, College of Human Kinetics, Institute of Technology. BUP further strengthens its open university system through expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program and the non-traditional system program. It caters to borderless educational system that aims to reach many learners as possible. For more than a century of existence, countless outstanding achievements have raised BUP to the level of a national comprehensive vision to transform the university into an epistemic community. BUP subscribes to the idea that a university should have an extensive research and extension development culture. Each year, BUP surpasses national passing rate in licensure examinations and ranks among the top in different academic disciplines. has also institutionalized academic exchange and international cooperation with various countries all over the world through its Office of International Affairs. Today, PUP is relishing its successes and its students are enjoying unprecedented academic opportunities. An enhanced campus environment, upgraded colleges, state-of-the-art technology, and nationally and internationally recognized programs. It has gone far from what it was more than a century ago. This is mainly due to the support given by the government, the PUP community, and its benefactors. With the combined efforts, PUP will continue to be a partner in nation building and in poverty alleviation for the marginalized sector of the society, with quality, responsive, and relevant education as a tool. PUP, the country's first Polytechnic U.
Emerson is a global technology and engineering leader. We operate in over 150 countries. We are 110,000 employees worldwide. And here in the Philippines, we have over 2,000 employees.
My name is Vicky Florento. I'm from Del, Philippines. I'm handling the university relations and services hiring.
Pag-asa Steel supplies concrete reinforcing bars to the Philippines' booming construction industry. We have been the leading supplier of quality steel bars for the past 52 years.
EGS is an Alorica company. It is one of the fastest growing BPO companies in the Philippines right now.
I'm Cecil Venancio and I'm Branding and Communications Director of Sykes Asia.
We don't decide whether you're from a top-tier university or a state university. We decide based on our assessments that includes exams and interviews. Having said that, a lot of Del's workforce in the Philippines are from PUP.
55 to 80 hires annually, those coming from PUP alone. And as a matter of fact, 14 of the homegrown employees who started from staff and supervisor have been promoted.
Currently, we have 13 employees from the PUP. They're working in a different field, so most of them are an engineer, some are in sales, most of them are in the higher position.
There's a huge pool of students that we can really harvest from. And we know the reputation that they bring. So we're glad that we have a university like PUP that we can rely on for our future employees.
I love the graduates of PUP. They're not only fun to work with, but you can rely on them. They are very, very dependable.
PUP graduates are an exact match and fit to Pag-asa Steel's mission and vision.
The reason why we prefer the PUP graduates is the fact that we noticed that they have a common denominator, very hardworking. See, whatever happens, they'd still work. Even if it's raining, they'd still come to work. You give them additional tasks, they'd accept it. They are resilient.
Very passionate aside from being resilient, because we can see that they're very dedicated with their job, and we've seen a lot of PUP graduates, not just in one department.
They turn out to adapt very well and adjust well to our company here in the Philippines. They're productive employees and they stay with us for a long time.
Stand out sa PUP graduate is their loyalty sa company. Integrity and ethics, drive for results, intellectual capacity, and adaptability. So when we hire PUPians, they have this kind of competencies.
Of course, they're very intelligent people, responsible. Responsible in a sense because whenever we meet these graduates and we ask them what are their future plans, they would always come up with answers like helping out their family, or because I'm done with school, I'll help out another sibling. So you would know already that these kids, even before they actually embark on certain work, they already have goals in mind.
They're not maarte, no? Whatever you give them, they know that if it's for the purpose of the job, they will do it. And so they have, they're the ones that survive the challenges of work. They don't shirk away from responsibilities. They're the type who, whatever the job requires, they're up for the challenge.
PUPians enable people everywhere to grow and thrive.
PUP is one of the pillars of the nation because it is an institution that provides good graduates, people who really contribute to the success of the community or to the success of the country.
To all the people associated with PUP, if you're a graduate, congratulations, and you should be proud of yourselves. For those of you that are students, please continue the tradition, the proud legacy that your school has. Some of you, PUP, you work for us now. We appreciate you. We know you're good employees. For those of you that might work for us in the future, please consider us. We'd love to have you. We know that you make a great employee for Emerson.
PUPians, bring everything you are. If you have big ideas, let's talk. Come work where passion meets possibility. You can visit jobs.del.com for opportunities.
To pursue your dreams and work hard for whatever endeavor you will choose. And in the event that you will choose to apply in one of the fastest BPO companies in the Philippines, I would like to invite you to apply in EGS, an Alorica company, because our doors are open for all of you.
To all the PUPians, let's create a size of smile together.
Smart is very happy to have PUP graduates now enjoying their career and let them live more.
Hashtag Sides to PUP. We will support you in more ways than one.
Tara na, maging magkasama na tayo. Mabuhay ang PUP.
Man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Hi, I'm Engineer Florinda H. Oquindo, Director of the Alumni Relations and Career Development Office. The role of our office is to keep connections among students and alumni, provides complete range of services to students, alumni, and employers in the area of career development, graduates and professional schools preparations, employee relations, and campus recruitment. We also provide alumni and students with the tools and resources to help find success in all professional endeavors. To all freshmen, please come and visit us. Our office is located at N209 North Wing 2nd floor.
Isang magandang tanghali at isang magandang hapon sa ating mga kaisko at kaiska. So, alam ko yung iba sa inyo ay katatapos lang mananghalian at yung iba naman ay syempre, 'di ba? May mga klase at alam ko sinisingit nyo lang ang panonood or ang pag-antabay sa mga programa ng Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. So, I'm Professor Jane S. Pulma of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. And the Alumni Relation Career Development Office provides services and assistance sa ating mga estudyante at alumni in support to the area of career development and placement. So we try to sustain the links that bridge the academe in the industry para naman sa ating mga potential employer at employment opportunities ng ating mga kaisko at kaiska. Actually guys, itong alumni webinar ay simula pa pandemic, sinimulan na natin ang sabihin na natin ang programa na ito. So hindi lang para maabot namin ang ating mga estudyante at maibahagi ng ating mga industry partners ang kanilang mga specialization at ang mga knowledge nila para sa isang maganda, mahusay at maayos na paghahanap ng trabaho at paghahanap ng magandang buhay ng ating mga kaisko at kaiska. This career development webinar aims to help develop one's career. So we hope that what you learn from here can help you professionally but also personally. So lahat ng skills, knowledge and new learnings, attitudes can help you shape and develop your career objectives. So, before anything else guys, i-discuss muna natin ang ating webinar etiquette. Okay. So, meron ba tayong mga tagag-branches dito ngayon? Baka naman, pwede bang pa-clap naman dyan or pa-virtual clap naman dyan or pa-heart naman dyan para ma-acknowledge ko ang inyong mga branches at campuses. So, pasabi rin guys sa ating mga direktor, mga college dean, at the same time, syempre, hindi natin pwedeng kalimutan ang inyong mga professor na nagpaunlak at nagbigay sa inyo ng pahintulot para maka-attend sa ating activity ng Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. Okay, let me share my screen po. Okay, so later may mga topic tayo such as interview tips at the same time. Nandito ang Robinsons para dun sa kanilang topic sa architecture para makita nyo naman kung anong naging buhay nila. Okay, meron tayong dalawang participants sa webinar na ito. Ito yung mga Zoom participants na natin na nandito. So good afternoon guys, good afternoon at magandang araw sa inyong lahat. So konnichiwa. So Please do remember to keep your microphone always on mute while this webinar proper is ongoing, and please always do remember that this webinar is currently on live stream. You can interact with our speaker mamaya by raising your hand or using the Zoom chat after nung time slot po nila. So, bibigyan namin kayo ng pagkakataon mamaya na makasilimuha at makijoin sa ating mga speaker. So, pwede kayong magtanong tungkol sa topic nila or tungkol dun sa industry na kinabibilang. So, bigla akong na-mute. Sorry naman, na-mute yata ako. Okay. So, para naman po sa ating mga stream participants, syempre, hindi natin pwedeng kalimutan ang ating mga estudyanteng nanonood at nakaantabay sa atin ngayon. Yung nanonood at nakapollow sa atin sa PUP Career Center Facebook page. Good afternoon guys sa inyong lahat at good afternoon. Pwede nyo gamitin ang comment section para sa inyong mga question. You just have to introduce yourself with your course and section. Syempre, i-include namin kayo sa pakiki-interact nyo sa ating mga speakers. So, we'll be including and monitoring all your questions during the Q&A portion. So, para sa lahat, makaka-receive kayo na inyong digital certificate 2 to 3 weeks after the conduct of this webinar to those who attended, participated, and accomplished the evaluation form given at the end of the session. You just have to make sure that the form or this form is only accessible 6 hours after the webinar. So guys, kailangan nyo i-accomplish yung evaluation form nyo ha, para mamaya, para at least, di ba, meron kayong ma-receive na digital certificate. Okay. So, let me share my screen para ipakilala natin ang ating first speaker. Okay? So, bago ang lahat, pwede ba nating panoodin ang kanilang ABP ng ating first industry reporter bago ko sila ipakilala?
When the world seemed to stop, we carry on, continue to dream. And create. We don't just work with what we know. We innovate to adapt. So you can drive your career forward. We don't just make you feel welcome. We provide everyone an equal opportunity to succeed. We don't stop at just enough. We go extra to care and provide, so you can brave the world safely. Times aren't the same, but we've always been different. We are Concentrix. We dream different. We create different. We embrace different.
Okay, so our industry partner is an high-tech power customer experience company creating a game-changing journey for their people, client, and customers. So let's welcome to discuss about interview tips, Ms. Teresa Apura of Concentrix. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon. I hope you guys can see me.
Yes, ma'am. Audible, ma'am, and visible yung mukha nyo. Thank you,
Alright.
ma'am. Sige,
Hello,
ma'am. Guys, pabigyan
mabuhay.
naman siya ng virtual clap si Ma'am Teresa.
Mabuhay, PUPians. There you go. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, not only that I will talk about interview tips, but I will also go through a little bit about creating power resumes. Okay, let me share my screen. I think it's also timely that we do this, and we're very excited that I am invited to this webinar that you guys are having. So thank you so much for letting me be part of this webinar. Let me go ahead and present my screen. There you go. I hope you guys can see my screen. We are now Concentrix Web Help, because times are changing and we'd have to adapt. Again, my name is Teresa Flores Apura. I'm one of the senior trainers at Concentrix Web Help. I'm part of the academe and community engagement team in Luzon, and we are very much happy to be invited once more to this seminar brought to you by PUP. Okay, so a little bit of trivia, okay, before I discuss the topic. Did you guys know that resumes, date back 1482? If you know the painter Leonardo da Vinci, he actually made and highlighted, his works in order for him to pitch himself and self-promote to the Duke of Milan. But right now, times are changing. Do you guys think that a resume is still important? Can you give me a heart react if you think resumes are still important in the digital world? Okay. I guess some people on Facebook is also commenting whether yes or no. Okay. And I would say that a resume is a very important tool still, even in the digital world. So today I'll go through the objectives of this workshop. So we will define the importance of resume and of course your application process, and differentiate from CV, resumes, and biodata. Okay, there you go. And of course, create an accurate and powerful resumes. Okay, so again, let's talk about what is a resume. Most probably, you already know this, right? And just to share, I've been with the industry for 18 years. I've seen, interviewed, and reviewed a lot of resumes, thousands, hundreds of resumes every day. And if there's someone that you should listen to in terms of understanding what needs to be included in the resume and how you should be answering later on in your interviews, that would be me. Okay. All right. So again, let me talk about and, tell you what a resume is. Okay. So of course, this is very standard and basic, most probably. But just to give you guys an overview, of course, a resume, it's a document that you guys use to present your skills, your background, and your accomplishment. It's most used when you want to land a job, okay? When you want to be employed. And of course, it contains a summary of your relevant job experience and your education. So right now, probably some of you already have some work experiences, others do not have. This is your chance to highlight your skills. Okay, so again, a lot of people may be confused about a resume, a CV, or curriculum vitae, and the biodata. Biodata, that's very old school, right? So for resumes, it's a 1-2 page brief description of your work experience focused on your work experience, your skills, and other achievements. And for CV, it can be multiple pages with the full description of your work experience. Again, similar to the resume, it's focused on your experience, education, your skills, and other professional achievements. Now, for biodata, this is what a lot of people do. Also, way back, it's your biographical data. Okay, it can also be multiple pages. It's your enumeration of your work and may contain your birthday, your gender, and your status. So usually here in the Philippines, we combine some aspects of the three in our own resume. So, you know, in the words of one of the TikTok strategies, they say mekus mekus, but you know, here in the Philippines we do that. We combine some aspects of the tree in our own resume. Okay, this is something important. These are the parts of a resume. Okay, your contact information, work experience, education, your achievement, your training, your certification, and skills, and your character reference. I would give you some tips because I've seen some resumes that may contain all of these, but most probably you will learn a thing or two in crafting and drafting your own resumes right now. Okay, so just so you know, hiring managers typically spend an average of 6 seconds. You can just imagine 6 seconds just to scan a resume. Because in my experience, to be honest, we go through a lot of resumes in a day. So it's really short. It's a short period of time for us to just browse and scan your resumes. Okay, so it's important that you highlight and you know the most important skills that you would like to share. Be concise, and it should be a well-organized document. All right, so for your contact information, this is very basic. This is based on experience. I have attended another university's career fair, and there was one candidate that I was able to interview. Everything was good, but the resume she presented to me, she panicked because the contact information on her resume was not accurate. So that means if ever that we would like to hire her, we would not be able to reach out to her and contact her because her information is correct. This is a very common mistake, and I know it may be simple, but this is something that I want you guys to really take your attention to. So again, for your contact information, make it easy for your recruiter to contact you. So put your contact information in the upper part of your resume for easy visibility. Make sure that the information is typed accurately and with proper pronunciation. It talks about a lot about your professionalism when you make use of proper punctuation. All right, so it should include your full name. For us, we need to know your middle name as well, your complete home address, your active email address, and your active contact numbers. And I cannot stress this enough. It should be active. So a lot of people, they also make use of an email that they have created years back that they have forgotten the password. Okay, and most probably a lot of employers are also reaching out to them, but they cannot get the message because their email address are not active. So I cannot stress that enough. It should be active email addresses and active contact numbers. Are we guys following so far? Give me a heart if you do. Okay, I'm just going through this really quick because I know that you are also excited for the next topic. Now, let's go ahead and talk about work experience. This may not be applicable yet to some of those who are just about to graduate, okay? But for some people who already have a work experience, and in the future, should you have a work experience, this is something that I want you to factor in, okay? When you put your work experience in your resumes, it should be in a reverse chronological order. So what do I mean by that? So the latest employer or the latest work experience that you have should be on the first line item. Okay, it should not be on the bottom. So this is one of the tips that I can give you, because I also have browsed again some other resumes, and what they do, example, they have 5 work experience already. What happens is that their work experience, the latest one is on the bottom. So this is a very helpful tip. It should be on a reverse chronological order. Okay, there you go. And then for your OJTs and internships, I know that this is not considered work just yet, because a lot of fresh grads confuse this for an actual work experience. Well, it may be listed under internship. Okay. So when you put it on your resumes, you can just type it in as internship. And for our company, Concentrix Web Help, we are accepting starters, meaning those who are fresh graduates. So some people think that, you know, it will be advantage, of course, if you have a work experience. But if you do not have any experience and you do have an internship, we also value your internship. So you may just want to clarify that it's an actual internship and not the regular work experience. There you go. And then always remember to include the following information when you type in your work experience: your job position, your tenure, meaning what is the month and year that you worked on that particular industry, and then a brief description on the job that you handled. You may include 1 to 3 bullet points. And during the interview, be prepared to be asked why you left your previous work. Okay, so this is, of course, for us to understand better what is it you're looking for in the new company that you'd like to work with. Okay, there you go. So next is education. So educational attainment is usually checked if you qualify for a job. Like for us in our company, our minimum hiring requirement is at least high school graduate, all curriculum, or senior high school graduate, new curriculum. Of course, college graduates are very much welcome, even the postgraduates. We have a lot of opportunities for you. And for your educational attainment, similar to your work experience, it should be in reverse chronological order. So for your highest educational attainment, for example, college degree, it should be on the first line item. Okay. Right now, for the new educational attainment line item, I suggest that you can include until your high school education. Okay, and for the specifics in terms of your educational attainment, you can include the following: the name of the school, your highest educational attainment in the school, if you are your track, if you are a senior high school student, and your course if you are a college degree student. Now, the years that you attended in your school, from what year to what year, okay, and any major achievements, for example, Latin honors, best in thesis, etc. And you may not include your minor achievements, for example, best in math, best in conduct, etc. But still up to you. But what we suggest are to include the major achievements. There you go. So moving on. There you go. Speaking of achievements, training, certifications, and skills. So this one is also one of trainings that you may have. Okay. List, just like what we've talked about with educational attainment, the achievements may also be listed in reverse chronological order. And also, please include the dates, month and year. List all of your professional trainings that you have gone through in reverse chronological order. If the training programs are numerous, you may want to list those that are related to the application. Okay, there you go. So if ever that it's not so related, for me, it's best that you include the ones that are most related to your the job that you're applying for. Okay. List all of your certifications from accredited certifying organizations such as PRC, TEOFL, IELTS, TESDA, etc. So these are other certifications from organizations that you may want to list down as well. And then list only professional skills related to the job application. So for the skills competencies, you may include your communication skills, computer skills, and some other resume templates require the level of competency as beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So for us, what's most important is we see these competencies on your resumes as well. There you go. So that is for your achievements. Now let's talk about your character reference. So for your character reference, this is for us employers to check on your background. You may list 3 character references, and the information should include the following: their full name, their position, the company that they belong to, their contact details. Again, this must be active. And your references should be, these are the suggested ones, your previous supervisors, your coworker, your teachers or your professor, and any other person who are unbiased. Okay? And as a rule of thumb, your parents should not be and relatives are not considered character references. So if it's a family friend, that's okay. But most especially, hopefully you will not include your mom and dad or your siblings or your cousins as your character references, because they may be a little bit biased, of course. But other than that, you should be good, okay, for your character references. So far, so good. I hope I can see heart reacts on here for a resume writing workshop. Am I going too fast? Okay. Any other information that your resume may contain? Your birth date and your civil status, and of course, your photo. I know that a lot of you guys may be excited, especially when you just graduated, right? To include your photo. So we'll talk about that in a bit. All right. So this is something that I would just like to share. This is somewhat informal, but we notice this as employers. So your font choice can also be influential on how your resume is perceived. So there are standard fonts that we would like to see on resumes, usually Times New Roman for more traditional, and then Arial for a modern look, so long as it's readable. Readability is key. Although there are some templates right now, I see a lot of templates coming from Canva. Most probably there are also resume templates that your school provides, right? There were other universities who provides the template for the resumes, and you may follow those as well. Just make sure that you stay away from overly stylized fonts so that we would be able to quickly pinpoint the information that we need to see on your resumes. So there you go. Okay, now let's talk about photo guidelines. I know that Photo Lab just launched. I don't know if the hype is gone now, but my social media feed was, bombarded with a lot of AI photos nowadays. Although I have nothing against AI photos, really, because, it's very time consuming. It takes a lot of effort to put on a suit like this, to put on your makeup, to go to a studio to get your photos taken for a professional looking photo. But make sure whenever, for example, you would submit a photo and include it on your resumes, make sure that you are still, you do not confuse the recruiter to a different person, because you look different in real life and you look different on your CV or your resumes, right? So a rule of thumb, well, you can most probably enhance your photos for it to look better, but make sure that it's still recognizable. Your recruiters could still recognize you from the photos that they see. Okay, so use a professional looking photo, or depending on your research, sometimes there are employers, for example, if you are in the creative field, that you can go about a more creative photo for your CV. That's okay. Again, just like what I said, your photo should not confuse the recruiter on how you look in real life. And I cannot stress that enough. It may seem funny, but you know, when you look at the CV and when you're talking to the person, they're a totally different person, and you do not want that to happen. You want to land the job, right? Okay. And you may use your college graduation photo for those of you who are just about to graduate, or who are already alumni. Okay, this is a great tip. You may use your college graduation photo only if your application is within 6 months from the time you graduated. Okay, it's a lot of people, even on LinkedIn, I can see this. Their photos are still their grad pic from way back. And again, we cannot even recognize them anymore. They change so much. So yeah, just make sure it's professional looking and you are recognizable, and that should be good to go. There you go. So that's for our photo guidelines. Okay, so maybe some of you have heard about this. Some people are putting objectives on their resumes. So what about objectives? So for writing an objective, it should be based on the research that you've made about the company that you are applying for. So every objective should be different for every company that you apply for, as it should answer to the position you are applying for, as well as the company terms. Like for other industry partners, they call the game changers. For us, it's customer service advisors. For others, customer service representatives. It shows a lot about how professional you are and how you take the role seriously, if you would be able to know about more about the company, as well as how they address their employees. There you go. And then of course, make sure to review your grammar in writing your objectives, and objectives can be omitted, as most recruiters, especially if there's a volume of hiring, for example, a job fair, a mega job fair, we most often than not do not read that anymore. But if you have a chance, of course, you may do so. That is for objectives. All right, I'm not sure. Probably I can talk to you guys more about this, but have you heard about ATS? So this may be a term that's new to you. So ATS is actually an applicant tracking system. It's a software application used by employers to manage and streamline the recruitment process. And this happens on online platforms, mostly online platforms. Now, you guys, I assume that you guys are very techy right now, and you know about SEO, or search engine optimization. I would like you to really, look down and consider the words that you use in your resumes for it to be trackable and for easy SEO. Okay, so for example, you're applying for a job for let's say engineering. Make sure that you make use of terms related to engineering. For example, architecture. Make use of terms that an employer from RLC, for example, later on she'll be this there will be a speaker for that, would be recognizable. For companies like us, Concentrix Web Help, make sure to make use of words like customer service, so you could be easily trackable by the recruiters. Okay, so when applying for the positions online, it's important that you optimize your resumes with relevant keywords from the job description to increase the chances of passing through the ATS screening process. So there you go. For us, actually, at Concentrix, we have this if you apply to an online platform, just like what I said. But usually if you are a walk-in or if you were invited from a job fair, well, we still do the regular screening. So there is a person like me would be able to review your resumes again. Okay, so what questions do you have later on? Let me stop sharing my screen first. So Miss Jane, am I right? Miss Jane, I'd like to know if I can continue with my next slide, or should we have some question and answers for now? My next slide. I hope you guys were able to get some tips from my first presentation. Now let's move on to the next presentation, which talks about interview tips. Okay, let me share my screen once more. Okay, so there you go. So moving on to our second topic. So earlier we talked about resume. So this is in a piece of paper, okay? And even if you are the best in the room, just like what I said, I would not know how great you are if you would not be able to put that on paper. So make sure that your resumes are meaningful, okay? It has all of the information that will impress me as an employer, because this is your chance to, of course, self-promote. But just as resume is a very important thing, because this serves as your initial handshake, okay, it becomes truly meaningful during an interview, because this is where the candidates would have the chance to breathe life into the words on their resumes. So I cannot stress this enough. Once again, consistency is crucial between what is being said on an interview and what is written on your resume. So I hope that you would be very, what do you call that, truthful, and there would be an integrity with the resumes, the information that you put on your resumes, because later on you will be interviewed. If we were impressed with your resumes, you will be interviewed further on. And during your interview, I would like you to remember this acronym, BFF. Okay? You should always be putting your best foot forward. Okay? So there. So let's go ahead and talk about how you can prepare for job interviews. So here's another trivia for you. So according to a survey, 92% of respondents reported feeling stressed about job interviews. Okay? Maybe it feels like you are gonna go through a Miss Universe Q&A when you go through an interview. And I can attest, I've gone through a lot of interviews myself, and similarly, I still feel anxious, right? Anxious, nervous, which is pretty normal. But what I can say is that coming in prepared and with your mindfulness and preparedness, you can be able to alleviate stress and have a successful interview with any employer. Okay, so just like what he said with the previous slide, for the resumes, it's just 6 seconds for an employer for us to scan your resumes. Now it's 7 seconds for an interviewer like me to form a first impression of a candidate. So I would say this is true. 7 seconds. Even before you open your mouth, you know, with nonverbal communication, with your stance, how you stand, how you present yourself, there's already an impression on me. So make sure that you make a positive impact from the moment that you enter the room. Okay. And if it's virtual, same thing. You'd have to make a positive impression for the first 7 seconds. All right, let's talk about what is an interview. And of course, it's a conversation between participants and the employer. And what is the purpose of this? Okay. So of course, it's for the employer to determine whether the applicant is the best person for the job and determine if the applicant is a good fit for the company. And for you, it's your chance to market yourself and convince the prospect employer that you are the best person in the company through your skills, your personality, your character, and your interest, right? So you've sent in your resume and you're invited for an interview. How can you prepare for it? Now, I will not only talk about, interview tips on answering interviews, but the preparation one-on-one from the moment that you got a call to be interviewed. Okay, what should you do? Okay, so learn everything about the company. It shows how professional you are, how serious you are in landing the job when you learn everything about the company, the job, and the interview. Of course, you need to brush up on your interview skills with the common interview questions that's readily available on the internet, right? But again, of course, knowing what you need to say and actually saying it are two different things. So when you prepare in your interviews, you should really also practice on how you can execute it when the time comes that you're already face to face with your interviewer. Okay? And of course, get ready to present yourself well and figure out all of the interview logistics. Okay. So learn everything about the company and the job. Of course, you do your research. You learn everything about the position. What do I do there? What are the things that I should be expecting? Of course, this is also for you to gauge whether the company is fit for you as an employee. Should you be hired as an employee, right? Try out the company's product or services if you can. And I do this a lot. Way back, I usually, for example, I would like to land a job on one company. I try their services out, right? For example, you want to be part of what? For example, tech companies, right? You check out how they are showing themselves to the customers. Learn about the interviewers and type of interview. May it be one-on-one, panel, phone, or a video. For us, usually if it's virtual, it's one-on-one. On-site as well, one-on-one. Sometimes if there's a large number of people that needs to be interviewed, it's a panel interview. And nowadays, a lot of employers, just like Concentrix Web Help, we do facilitate a video interview, and usually it's also done in Zoom. Okay, so brush up on your common interview questions and your interview skills. So identify your selling points for the job. So this is the time that you need to evaluate your skills and capabilities. How can I be a fit for the company that I'd like to be part of? So be ready to tell the interviewer about yourself. Know why you're interested in this position at this company, and prepare your stories. These are for behavioral questions. And for me, a lot of new applicants, candidates, are so nervous that they just memorize their answers. And it shows, okay? And what I can say is that if you put your quirks or your, for example, me, my full name is Teresa, but my nickname is Sasha. I sometimes would inject that to my interview, and that actually made me feel a lot more comfortable with the interview. That shows my confidence as well. And the interviewer as well saw my attentiveness, my quirkiness, and how I am very much conversational if ever that I get hired. So there. So prepare your stories for behavioral questions, prepare your stories so that you'd be an interesting applicant. And when you have that kind of story, you would be, you would be able to stand out. If I am an interviewer and have interviewed, for example, 20 individuals, and you share with me a unique story, I can pick you up from those 20 individuals because you have something unique to share, right? So there, jot down important numbers and details as well. So that is for your stats. For example, you already have what do you call this? A work experience. You may want to consider, oh, I was able to get this number of applicants and we were able to, for example, reach this particular number of goal. So you can also share those details with your interviewer. All right. Now let's move on to the next part. So when you are brushing up on your interview skills and there are common interview questions, there is a way for you to answer this quickly. And you may probably already know this, but this is what we call the STAR method. Okay? So when you are answering common interview questions, you may want to familiarize yourself with the situation, task, action, and result. So this is quite a structure on how you should be answering the questions. Because a lot of us, when we are on an interview, we are already so nervous that we don't know where to start, right? When you don't know where to start, your mind is all over the place and you will not be able to really express what you want to say. And this is, of course, something that is bad during an interview. So it's best that you know about STAR. Again, STAR is an acronym for situation, task, action, and result. And later on, we will talk about how we can integrate this to your answers when I ask you common questions. There you go. Okay. Aside from knowing the STAR method, which is your structure when you are talking about when you are answering most common interview questions, you can also brush up on your active listening, your small talk, and your empathy. Okay? Active listening is very important because, of course, how can you answer a question if you do not understand it in the first place? Okay, so make sure that you are actively listening to the question so that you would be also comprehensible and your answers are aligned to whatever the interviewer is asking you about. Small talk, just like what I said earlier, you should have your own story to tell your interviewer so you can be standing out from the crowd. And this is what we want to do, right? We would want our employers to recognize us because of the hundreds that are being interviewed for probably a week or a day in our lives, okay? And of course, practice, but do not memorize. So I've said this earlier. It's so obvious when you memorize your answers. If you memorize your answers, that's fine, but make sure that, you deliver it as if it's something that's free-flowing. And it's something that you can really engage into a conversation. So yeah, I think it's important that you kind of put a bullet point, for example, just bullet point on your heads so that you will not forget. But when you answer, just answer it fluidly. Okay. So there. I know it's easier said than done, when you are already in the situation or you're face to face with an employer. But it will improve by practice. How I practiced before is that I usually do it in front of a mirror or with somebody else. When you verbalize and when you actually say it, that's the time that there's that muscle memory in your head that, okay, when this question is asked, this is how I will answer. And it helps a lot. It helps a lot that you have something on your pocket. For example, right? When that common question is asked, you already know what to say. Correct. And aside from that, just like what I said, think about body language, right? And try some mock interviews, most probably with your peers, with your parents, or just in front of a mirror. It's okay. And then, if ever that there are things that you're curious about and you would like to know whether you are a good fit for the company, you may also want to write down questions that you want to ask to an interviewer. And this really gives a good impression on me. Sometimes when we go through an interview, and an applicant asks me a question, it's a good sign for me because it means that they're interested, really invested in getting into the company because they want to see how it feels like to be hired, to be inside the company already. Okay. So it's a very good way for you to also give a good impression on your interviewer. And then plan for what you'll do if you're caught off guard. But for me, I think the most important thing, for example, if things go out of hand, you don't have anything to say, you pause for a while, have a breather before you think about the things that you want to say before you say it out loud. It's okay for you to pause really when you are in an interview. A lot of people, they think that they should just be talking and talking all the time when there's an interview. But pausing is also a good practice. There you go. So I hope you guys are still with me. It's so different. Can you give me a heart react? Or probably on Facebook? Okay. Now let's get ready to present yourself well and figure out the interview logistics. So logistics, we'll talk about that later on. Of course, when when you are invited to be interviewed, that logistics means, how you go to the interview, how do you go to the interview place? How do you go to the company itself? I remember when I was first interviewed, I came from Las Piñas, and I don't know how to commute going to Makati. So you'd have to figure out how you're gonna get there. Okay, nowadays it's very helpful that we have Google Maps. It's very helpful that we have Waze, right? And Move It. That's an app that I use right now whenever I do commute going to different sites. It's very helpful that you know firsthand what are the most probably public utility vehicles that you need to go to, the time frame, where you when you will be able to reach the location, those kind of things. And of course, figure out what you want to wear. Of course, you'd like to look professional with the way that you dress, the hygiene. Make sure to print out copies of your resumes. I remember when I went job hopping, technically, and I was on a job fair, I would print several copies of my resume, minimum of 10. But of course, if you've already head out and sent it out via, for example, email, you may want to still have a physical copy on hand, just in case. Okay. Also, I've mentioned this already. Pack your bag ahead of time, so you will not be leaving your pen and paper, whatever it is that's important, like your keys, your wallet, your phone, and figure out where you're going and how you're gonna get there. So that's for logistics. Okay, prepare your environment, get a good night's sleep, and calm your nerves. So this is pretty practical. Just come on prepared the day for your interview. Now, this is where we go to the exciting part. And I hope I could get engagement with this later on. But these are just some of the common interview questions that you may want to prepare for. Okay? And I don't know if we can get a little bit of interaction with you guys with the interview proper. So these are just some of the common interview questions, and I know that there are other common interview questions that you may be able to experience. And what I want you guys to remember when you are crafting, again, your interview questions, remember the structure: STAR, situation, task, action, and result. And for this one, you can also do this similar thing. Tell me something about yourself. We also have what we call prep. Okay? Your point, your reason, your example, and then your point. You can also say that out loud. Again, it's the structure for some of these questions. It's point, reason, example, and point. Okay, so I will stop sharing my screen for a while, and I don't know if I can get an interaction with you guys because I'm pretty much done with the slides. It's just a little bit of practice. Can I call on students here? I'm not sure. So that we can probably try to practice some common interview questions. Can we do that, Miss Jane? I'm not sure. Okay, how do you answer? Tell me something about yourself. Again, just like what I said, you can start with your point. For me, I usually would think about an adjective that best describes me as a person and as a future employee of that company that is aligned to their values as well. For example, I can say something like, I am a creative person, or what else? I am a resilient person. And this is a common answer for a lot of students. Hardworking. Come up with something new. Okay, come up with maybe more engaging answers when you are asked, tell me something about yourself. And then you can go to the next line item, the reason. Why do you say, for example, for me, why do you say you are creative, right? And then give out some examples, and then you go back to your point. So if I were to answer that question, tell me something about yourself. Hi, my name is Teresa Apura, and I can say that I am a creative person. I love engaging into a lot of creative activities, such as drawing. I also would love to be part. I also have been part of a group that's called Sining Kape at Kultura, where we are a group of copy painters, and we were able to engage to a lot of activities and be part of some exhibits. And with that creativity, I would like to implore my skills and abilities to be able to come up with new and innovative ideas to be part of your company. That's the reason why I'm fit for the job. And I would say that I am a very creative person. So you can do something like that. Okay. Again, so you go to your point, your adjective, and then you show us your reason why you say that you are, for example, creative, hardworking, resilient. Okay. And then you point out examples. What are the things that you were able to accomplish to say that? And then you go back to your point, because we would want to remember that this person, okay, for example, Shasha here is one creative individual. I would like her to be part of my team. Okay, so that's basically how you answer those kind of questions. What else? Some other questions that are being asked are situational questions. For those without work experiences just yet, this may be, you can relate it to your experiences in school. Okay, for example, can you cite an example whereas you were able to handle stress? So if you do not have any work experiences just yet, you may want to embark on things that you have experienced at school. So this is something that you need to be prepared for. And in answering that question, you may make use of the structure STAR: situation, action, situation, task, action, and the result. So for example, I remember a time when my partner at school for a thesis has gone and left us, and I was not able to get hold of her. She was not able to help me with that project. I know that I was very stressed. It's a very stressful situation. But what we need to do is really accomplish this in order for us to graduate. That's the task. So what I did was I gathered all of the materials. I was able to reach out to her. Now that she was not able to, physically go to the school to help me out, we made sure to communicate continuously through Zoom, and she was able to pitch in her ideas and mine as well. And the result is that we were able to submit our thesis on time, and we were able to graduate that year. Okay, similar to that as well. So that a STAR method, that is situation, task, action, and then result. So there, I hope I was able to give you some tips on how to answer common interview questions. That's prep and STAR. So for situational questions, the structure should be STAR: situation, task, action, and result. If it's something that you need to give out your reasons, it can be prep. That's point, reason, example, and then point. There you go. All right. So let me go back to my slide. I will share my screen once more. Since we are not, most probably later on, if you have other questions for me, I can just share my answers with you later on, because right now we're just on presenter mode. Okay, and another trivia for you guys. So according to a survey from Career Builder, 70% of employers use social media to screen candidates during the hiring process. I know that this is somewhat biased, right? But it's true. It happens in real life that sometimes employers have the chance to check on your profiles, your Facebook profiles. So make sure that, for example, you would like to land a job, your Facebook or social media pages are also professional. You may want to hide the memes for the meantime. Okay, so there. So that ends my presentation. So I would just like you guys to remember to embrace each new opportunities that comes your way. It's your stepping stone to your journey to your success. And good luck, PUPians. We are ready for question and answer. Okay. Oh, where's our moderators? Do we have our moderators now for the Q&A? Do you guys have any questions for me? Yeah, let me check. Oh, these guys are so quiet. We can now open the floor for question and answer. You may type it on the chat or feel free to unmute, or, so we can have our open conversation. No questions? I'm leaving now. Feel free to type in any questions that you may have for me in terms of tips on your interviews. You guys have questions for me? Is everything clear? Oh yeah. Hi, Miss Jane.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, guys, we do have question kay Ma'am Teres. So, ma'am, may question po. Let me read from Sheena De La Rosa. Miss De La Rosa, you wanted to interact with our speaker po. You can unmute yourself po. Miss Sheena.
What are some verbs like facilitate, coordinate?
Miss Sheena, naririnig niyo po ako?
Oh, it's okay. Okay, so her question is, what are some verbs like facilitate, coordinate, do you usually want to see in the resume? Nothing in particular, actually. Nothing in particular. What's most important is the result also, because right now we are result driven. So it doesn't matter if you would point out, we're not really particular with the verbs, facilitate, coordinate, so long as we see the result that you were able to produce with that particular endeavor. I hope I answer your question, Shaina. Sheena.
Okay, so guys, may tanong pa ba tayo kay Mr. E? Sige na, bawal daw mahiya. Wala daw Pilipians na mahiyain.
Oo nga, baka kala nila hindi ako nagtatagalog.
Kaya nga, mami. So, siguro pa rinigin mo sila ng Tagalog. Oh, guys, hindi raw siya nangangain. So, ibig sabihin, pwede raw gumamit ng word na Tagalog. Actually, kaya po namin ginagamit yung word na Tagalog, lalo na pag tayo nag-webinar, para at least yung engagement nyo ay makuha rin namin. So, kasi, syempre, alam naman namin na kung purong English yan, baka matulog lang kayo, di ba? So, syempre, we want na ma-engage ang ating mga estudyante at ang ating mga kaisko at kaiska. Sige na, guys! May tanong pa ba kay Miss Sheena? Kay Mr.
Geraldine says,
yan, si Miss Geraldine. Okay,
I'm interested lang po if there's a hint, gesture during the interview na yung person ay i-hire na po ng company. Okay, that's a very interesting one. And let me answer that question. I usually would not give a hint. Ngayon, I am smiling and all, pero when I do interviews, as much as possible, actually, if it's done virtually, we don't show our faces. We don't show our faces para din non-biased, kumbaga. So, yeah.
Para wag daw manakot. Joke.
I try my best not to give a hint. This is one of the things that we do. Pero I think one of the best answers I can give you, you can feel it. You'd be able to feel it when you're interviewed. And right now, by the way, let me just share this with you guys. With our company, although of course interviews are also very important for us to know really if you are a good fit, we are very proud also na we are getting people and hiring people based on skill. So yun. Syempre, you'd have to go through the assessments. But for the interviews, as much as possible, we do not show any hint. And if it's virtual, lalo na pag virtual, wala kayong mukhang makikita. So, ngayon lang yan. So, You guys are lucky to see me today.
Okay, so may isa pang tanong. If it's okay daw po to apply if there's a requirement of 1 year experience, then you are a fresh graduate. Syempre.
Okay. This is also a very interesting question. Specifically for our company, there's no requirement for any work experience. We are accepting fresh graduates with no work experience whatsoever. Ayun. I hope
Kaya lang ma'am, syempre, 'di ba, may mga companies and position that requires 1 year experience or 6 month experience or any experience at all. Regardless of sabihin na natin regardless of time, basta may working experience siya to be as part ng kanilang dun sa job description. So, pwede daw pa siya mag-apply. Actually, di ba, minsan naman po, depende siya. Tama po ba? Depende siya. Malay nyo, mabait yung HR gaya ni ma'am. Pwede kayong pagbigyan. Joke. Okay.
It depends on the position. For example, if it's a minimum hiring requirement, then it is. It should be, part of it. Pero kung hindi naman, and for example, you really show an exemplary skill. If you show an exemplary skill, there may be some exceptions as well. Yeah.
Okay. May isa pa ma'am tanong, it is true daw po ba that some employer are most likely to hire fresh graduates like someone who learned along the way?
Okay. Let me answer that question. So, most likely to hire fresh grads, again, it depends. For us, for our industry, we are very inclusive. And we hire people who are fresh graduates, and we hire senior citizens even. So we're very inclusive. In that sense, syempre yung mga senior citizens, meron na ding mga ibang experience yan. May it be a fresh grad or experience, we are giving equal chances. Ayun. I hope I was able to answer that question. Pero siguro, to also, to answer Alvin, siguro kunyari, if you are applying for a team leader post or a managerial post, of course, a more tenured applicant or candidate is something that we would want to get, right? For example, yung position, mas required siya ng mga maraming skills and experiences. Syempre, ang papabura naman namin, yung marami na ding skills and experiences under their belt, right? So, it depends on the position that you're applying for. Pero right now, I can say, because we partnered also with the schools and our public employment service office, syempre we would want to hire lahat talaga, lalo na ang mga fresh grads. So, yun. So, it depends on the position that you're applying for. Whether papaboran ba ang fresh grad. Pwede rin kasing fresh grad siya, pero kita mo naman yung experiences din niya. So, pwede din siyang maging manager, di ba? It really depends. It really depends. Okay. I hope I was able to answer your question, Arvin. And meron pa bang question?
Yes, ma'am. Meron pa. Syempre, may magpapatalo ba naman ng PUP? So, ito po. Meron na siyang tanong si Miss, si Arvin yung last. So, si Miss Rochelle naman. Can you share a tips on how to handle conflicts during the interview? And what are some mistake or common mistake to avoid during the interview? And thank you, ma'am, sa sagot. Nag-advance na siya.
Ay, thank you. Agad na din, no? All right. Share tips on how to handle conflict. I actually would want to understand this better. Kasi usually, recruiters are on the receiving end with the interviews, during the interviews. Parang, syempre, pinapakinggan namin kayo, your answers. So, usually, wala naman yung conflict talaga in a sense na it's just that an applicant is not a good fit. How to handle conflict? Siguro, ang conflict naman dito, what's your name? Rochelle, is yung hindi mo masagot yung tanong, no? siguro sa comprehension. Kumbaga, yung tanong ay hindi nasagot ng tama or hindi masyadong aligned sa answer. I think that's the conflict. And the answer and the, what do you call this? Kung ano yung magiging step mo para wag mangyari yung conflict na yon ay makinig. Active listening. Kasi I remember interviewing an applicant na sobrang taliwas yung answer niya, sobrang taliwas sa tanong ko kasi hindi siya nakinig. Hindi siya nakikinig, hindi niya masyadong naiintindihan yung tanong. So I think that's how you should be handling the conflict. Listen to the question and be prepared with the answer. And then the other one, what are some common mistakes to avoid during an interview? Siguro number 1 na dyan is yung ano ba yung mga mistake? I am thinking about real life interviews I've had. At least with our industry, because we are a BPO industry. Number 1 is yung gumagamit ng po at opo. It may be a little bit funny, no? Kasi syempre gusto nating maging respectful to our interviewers, right? Pero yeah, for me, one of the things that a lot of fresh grads happen to make as a, hindi naman siya totally a mistake, but something that you can let go of. That's what I can say. Just drop the po and opo kasi Tagalog siya na kumbaga we are talking about a professional landscape now, right? Even if you wanted to syempre respect the authorities or the higher management, you can let go of the po and opo na when you're doing the interview. Yes po. During the interviews, yes po. Okay, you can just answer professionally, yes. And you may be sounding a lot more professional and more confident. Yun lang naman sa mga fresh grads. I hope I was able to also answer your question, Rochelle. This is also an interesting question. How do you correctly negotiate with your starting salary po? Ayan, magandang tanong. Starting salary. Okay. So usually, I don't know if you've seen this, but I know a lot of TikTok nga na napanood ko yan sa mga TikTok, what do you call this? Content. How do you negotiate for a salary? Usually, for industries, meron silang range. Now, it's up to you to research on the range. Pero, minsan naman din, sinasabi din namin yung range ng salary to our employees. In order for you to negotiate as a starter or as a newbie, I would say highlight on your skills and capabilities. If you think that you have intensive skills, intensive experience, then you can negotiate to a much higher salary grade, right? Pag nagsisimula ka pa lang, syempre, there are also a threshold of salary, a standard, basic. Pero again, nasa sayo naman din yan if you would like to accept the job kung ganun yung in-offer sa'yo and then negotiate on your end. But the best suggestion I could give is for you to highlight your skill. And how you'd be able to do that is if during an interview you would be able to share your experiences, intensive experiences, kung bakit mo deserve, kumbaga, bakit mo deserve na mas mataas yung sahod mo kesa sa iba. Yun. But I would say to also encourage Rachel for the starting salary, most industries and employers all throughout naman the Philippines, they are giving competitive salaries. So, nothing to worry about actually. Even if you're starting out, competitive ang kanilang ino-offer. So I hope I was able to answer your question. Ayun. Anything else? Ayun, si Miss Donna. Speaking of Tagalog po, I want to get your opinion and insights. We are aware that English is a universal language and we use it to connect with other people living in different countries. My question po is, aside from for formality, and it shows professionalism, especially dito sa Pilipinas, pag nag-a-apply ng trabaho, why is it preferably na mag-English kapag nasa interview instead of Tagalog? When in fact, Pinoy naman po ang interviewer and applicant. Okay, it depends on the industry. Ako kasi, sanay lang ako talagang mag-English kasi nga, our company is a BPO. So, it's also a way for me to gauge whether an applicant would be able to handle the customers. Pero sa ibang industry, syempre meron na din tayong mga naging kaibigan in other industries. Ang interview naman is in Tagalog even. Kunyari sa mga ibang, ano ba, ang katabi ko noon, if I remember correctly, mga agencies kasi. And they facilitate their interviews in Tagalog. So yan, I think it depends on the industry that you're applying for. It's just that on our case, since we are a BPO and the job that entails it is also to talk to foreigners, kaya siya English. Yun sa amin lang naman. Pero sa iba, some companies, they facilitate it also Taglish, Tagalog, or English, ganun. So yun. I hope I was able to answer your question, Sophia. So for example, Sophia, sa amin ka mag-a-apply, sasabihin ko ngayon pa lang, English po tayo. English because I'd like to know and gauge kung kaya natin yung ating magiging work. Last na po, how long should you wait a feedback? Oh, this is also a good question. After an interview. Kasi some really don't contact you after the interview po. Thank you. Okay. This is a very good question from Rachel. So sa feedback, it depends on the company. Puro ako it depends. Pero totoo kasi. But for me, if I were to speak about our company, right after the assessment, you will get your feedback within the day. Kasi meron na siyang mga assessment. Even the interview, kunyari, you go through an interview with me. If you pass, I will let you go through an assessment. Ganon siya. And then when you pass the assessment, when you do the assessment, I can give you the result within the day. But of course, with other companies, I don't know how long, pero siguro ang pinaka, what you call this, hindi naman naabuti ng 1 month. Mga a week to 2 weeks is a very workable time frame, if I may say. There you go. I hope I was able to answer your question, Rachel. And then Sophia also have a question here. If you are a part of a family business and you're working there part-time, applicable po ba yun as a work experience? Thank you. Okay. So, Sophia, for example, it's a family business and then you really have a position there. So long as you can provide a documentation like a certificate of employment, yung mga legalities. Ngayon, kung wala siya, kunyari, ang family business nyo ay, ano ba, example, di ba marami na ngayon yung may mga boutique or sari-sari store, right? Or what else? Yung mga hindi naman talaga na magpo-provide. For example, your parents would not be providing naman a certificate of employment, you can mention that on an interview. And then, syempre, kami na mga employers, we would be able to gauge na meron ka ding skills na natutunan doon. So, I suggest pwede namang hindi na siya ilagay sa resume. Kung wala kang legal paperworks, certificate of employment and such that. Pero, you can, kumbaga, pwede mo siyang ibida. Pwede mo siyang ibida during an interview. Kasi, ano mo yan eh, kumbaga, advantage mo yan. That's your advantage. That you're able to get that kind of experience through your family business here. So, I hope I was able to answer your question, Sophia. Okay, Angelica, Maria Angelica Perez is asking, how long po dapat ang sagot to satisfy the interviewer? Okay. How long? Truth be told, ako hindi naman kailangan parang sobrang haba na sagot. Kasi, I'm spilling the tea. I'm spilling the tea. Okay. Sa akin kasi, when you answer the question, sometimes there's no right or wrong answer, to be honest. So long as you can, kumbaga, defend your answer. There's no right or wrong answer so long as you can defend your answer. And it doesn't really matter how short or how long it is. Ang mas mahalaga, you were able to give the essence and the idea. Okay, na i-deliver mo yung idea to your interviewer. So, hindi naman kailangang sobrang haba, hindi naman din kailangan ng sobrang ekse. That's the reason why I shared the structure, prep, and star. Sobrang helpful niyan, guys. Kasi, kapag buo yung idea na naibigay nyo sa amin and it's concise, that means you are a very good communicator. And that's what we need. There you go. So I hope I was able to answer your question, Angelica. Okay. Oh, thank you, Donna. Appreciate it.
Ma'am, marami pa siya.
Ha? Nung nagtagalog ako, ang dami ng tanong.
Yes, ma'am, ganun talaga.
Okay, sige. Pero yeah, I'm very open to your questions kasi gusto namin talaga na, you know, you guys be part of course, of our company also para mabigyan ko din kayo ng tips. For newbies in the BPO, what account or LOB would you recommend to us? Okay, this is an interesting question. Actually, paano ba? Kami kasing mga recruiters, kami yung magpo-profile sa'yo. Kaya nga namin pinapakinggan yung sagot, yung mga how you answer the question. Kasi, okay, ito. And syempre, yung LOB na mapupuntahan nyo or the account that you will be part of, depende yan, meron din silang sarili nilang perks. So kung magaling ka, kunyari ginalingan mo sa interview, syempre mapupunta ka sa medyo more complex account. Pero magaling ka nga kasi because that's your skill set. And we put you to a more complex account, mas malaki din yung sahod nun. Syempre, di ba? The skill would be consumer rate of your salary. So, yun. So, dapat din natin galingan. There's nothing, well, for the LOB, kami naman kasi yung pumipili niyan, Sarah. Siguro depends din sa kung ano yung degree na natapos, binabagay din siya. Kasi we have a lot of industry verticals. Actually, we have retail, consumer electronics, we have travel. Kaya sabi nga nila, when you go to a BPO, kahit anong kurso na tinapos mo, meron ka talagang babagayan because we have a lot of industry verticals that we support. Ayun. So, meron ding banking and finance. So, yun. Sometimes, it's the employer who would dictate kung saan ka mapupunta. Depends on your skill and your background. There. I hope I was able to answer your question, Sarah. Sarah Grace. Okay, thank you. Ayan.
Okay, may tanong pa ba tayo? Ano, ma'am? Guys, satisfied na kayo? Maraming salamat, Ma'am Teresa, and I hope to see you again next time.
Oh,
diba?
yes.
At least may kapalitan na si Sir JP. So, maraming salamat, ma'am, and thank you daw, Ma'am Pretty. Okay, so maraming salamat from Arca, Isko and Kaiska. Maraming salamat sa ating industry partner ang Concentrix para sa pagpapaunlak and sharing your expertise and experience regarding interview tips. So alam ko maraming natutunan ang ating mga kaisko at kaiska. 'Di ba? So, guys, pabigay naman ng isang masigabong virtual clap. Ayan, alive sila, ma'am. Okay, maraming salamat, Ma'am Teresa, and I'll see you soon and I'll see you next time or on our next career talk. May mga nakaschedule pa kami kay ma'am. So, guys, ito naman po ang next industry partner natin.
I raised my game to provide a home, and I'm rewarded a happy life.
Not just dreaming of a better future, I'm living my best life now.
And although technology can virtually bring us together, it is our dreams that keep us connected.
We are home with RLC Residences.
Sabi? Awaiting response to proceeding ba? Status, awaiting response to destination ba?
Okay. Ay, nawala. Ay, shit. Okay, so sorry po medyo nawawala ang aking Okay, RLC Residence is a residential business unit of the real estate company Robinson's Lands Corporation. They develop a mid and high-rise condominium or vertical properties. So, ang magpapakilala po sa ating speaker for today's event to discuss about the ArchiCheck or a glimpse into the life of an architect of Robinson's Lands Corporation. Let's welcome Miss Eli. Miss Eli. Hi, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon, Ms.
Good
Jane. Maraming
yes,
salamat
ma'am.
po for introducing us. We are RLC Residences. Ayan. So, good afternoon, PUP, mga scholar ng bayan, and welcome to the Career Development Talk of RLC Residences. Right? So, syempre, brought to you by PUP. So, maraming salamat po, PUP, for inviting RLC Residences sa ating Career Development Talk ngayong hapon. So, alam nyo ba na today we will be having an insightful, helpful, and inspiring topic. And our topic for this afternoon is ArchiCheck, a glimpse into the life of an architect. So by the way, my name is Eli, Senior HR Associate of RLC Residences. And mamaya, meron tayong dalawang speakers who are architects themselves. So yung first speaker natin ay magkikwento about the reality of being an architect through sharing his experiences working at RLC Residences as a design officer. While the second speaker naman natin, who is a PUP graduate himself, will provide you with helpful tips as you prepare for your career and become professionals in the near future. So while he incorporates these tips sa kanyang mga experiences then as a design officer at RLC Residences. So please stay tuned and enjoy the talk. So before we officially begin with the talk, let me introduce to you muna who we are. No? So sino nga ba si RLC Residences? So si RLC Residences is a residential business unit in charge of developing vertical properties or condominiums. Alright, so alam nyo ba na si RLC Residences as a business unit is part of a real estate company that's called Robinson's Land Corporation. Ayan. And si Robinson's Land Corporation naman, as a real estate company, is composed of 6 different business units. Isa doon, si RLC Residences. Now, to give you the rest, we also have Robinson's Malls, Robinson's Industrial and Integrated Developments, Robinson's Homes, Robinson's Hotels and Resorts, at Robinson's Offices. But wait, hindi pa dyan nagtatapos kasi alam nyo ba na si Robinson's Land Corporation is part of a big conglomerate of companies or group of companies, and that is Gokongwei Group. So Gokongwei Group as a group of companies is engaged in businesses that serve a growing middle class with rising disposable incomes in the Philippines and Asia. No, so si Gokongwei Group naman as a group of companies is has lots of business units, strategic business units. Bukod sa Robinson's Land Corporation, we also have Universal Robina, JG Summit Olefins Corporation, Cebu Pacific, and Robinson's Bank. So let's get to know more about RLC Residences as a business unit. So currently, we have over 40 condominium properties with 80 plus towers located within and outside Metro Manila. So marami din tayong project launches, meaning we have projects soon to rise now or ongoing ang construction. And yeah, fun fact naman about RLC Residences as part of a real estate company, that's Robinson's Land Corporation. Alam nyo ba, now we have won a lot of awards na. Yeah, so as you can see on the slides, first we have the Property Guru Philippines Property Awards. This year lang yan, 2023. And this awarding ceremony is actually a gold standard in real estate. So during this awarding ceremony, we have won as Best Lifestyle Developer. Bukod doon, nakikita ninyo sa slides na yung mga properties ng RLC Residences have won remarkable awards as well. And aside from that, meron din tayong tinatawag na DOT Property Philippines Awards. This year lang din yon. During that specific awarding ceremony, we have won as Best Developer for both Metro Manila and Cebu. And we've actually received the Special Recognition Award for Innovation. So just like the Property Guru Philippines Property Awards, nagkaroon din ng mga awards ang ating mga properties during the DOT Property Philippines Awards. So aside from this, meron pa po, RLC Residences has also been awarded globally or internationally na during the International Business Magazine Awards. Recent lang ito, no, in 2023. So this was actually held in Dubai, UAE. No? So RLC Residences won as the Real Estate Developer of the Year in the Philippines and as the Best Property Development Company in the Philippines. So syempre from here pa lang, exciting nga naman to be part of an award-winning business unit. So we do hope to see you joining us soon and becoming part of a highly competent team as you become professionals. Alright, so ayan, punta na tayo sa ating first speaker. Now, our first speaker this afternoon is architect Francis Carlo C. Cantor, a graduate of BS Architecture at Isabela State University in 2017. He passed the PRC Architecture Licensure Examination in 2020. He is currently a design officer at RLC Residences since October 2022 under the Business Development and Design Department. His project assignments are Le Pont Residences, located sa Bridgetown Estate, Pasig City, actually flagship project natin to, or luxury project natin. And the other one is the Sapphire Block, located in Ortigas Center, Pasig City. His career highlight is handling the first flagship project of RLC Residences. So pakinggan natin ngayon ang kwento ni Architect Francis.
So good afternoon, guys. So andito ako basically to share or magkwento sa experience ko with RLC. I am currently 29 years old and I became a licensed architect when I was 26. I came from a humble province in the north na wala naman masyadong immersion offered with regards to architecture. I completed my degree from a state university and syempre nung napunta ako sa Manila, mga kasabayan kong aplikante or empleyado, mga graduate ng known institutions, I cannot get away with this insecurity na baka marami akong di alam, marami pa akong kailangan malaman, like I was always somehow less compared to the rest. I have been with RLC for over a year now. October 2022, like Miss Eli said, I first stepped in our building and first project assignment is Le Pont Residences. Imagine yun guys, first flagship, then I came from sa site lang, sa construction. So for those who don't know, Le Pont is the first ever flagship project of our company, which is already on its way to reality to be situated in Bridgetown Estate in Pasig City. I was first thinking, hindi ko gamay to. Sanay ako makipagbardagulan sa site, ah, bangayan, sa mga contractor. I was so used to being, insecure. Pero, yun nga, naanohan ko na naman yung insecurity gets in. I have to learn more. Kailangan ko makipagsabayan because this is something big. This was always at the back of my mind, but RLC helped me out throughout of it. Succeeding months have been about devoting my time, doubling my commitment to learn more. RLC encouraged me and the rest of the members of our team to be more involved in the project, believing in what can we give or do for the project while being mentored in our craft the best they can. Siyempre sa RLC, important rin ang work-life balance. So despite the endless submittals, RFA, deliverables we had to do, building a good rapport with the team is also a priority. So guys, kwento ko lang, dito sa first photo on the left side is here we are building the brand standard of RLC. So nag-aano kami ng mga paano ba yung magiging look ng facade of RLC. So yun, nagsaset kami lahat ng mga, dito nagbe-brainstorming kami guys. So ayan, second photo, so wag niyo na sabihin kay Miss Eli na kumakain kami sa meeting room which is bawal. And the last photo dito, together with our construction team, with our consultant, kick-off meeting kami at Bridgetown Estate. The next thing we know, we have already launched the project to the media. We have already made it known to the world. So ayan, makikita nyo ako sa rightmost. Celebrating with the bosses, the milestone of this project. One more great thing about being with RLC is that you get to be present in events like this. Hindi ka someone sa likod lang, laylayan lang. You celebrate with the rest. You are likewise celebrated. You are acknowledged along with the giant teams of the company. Here you see from our groundbreaking ceremony. You see, as a design officer, I get to be involved. I was made to be present along with the big names in architecture, including Architect Coscolwela. So imagine guys, Architect Coscolwela, very renowned architect in our industry. And it gives you a sense of being about what you do for the company. From there, I get to be assigned in more projects, one after the other. And the rest is history. You remember at the beginning of my story, I was telling you about my insecurity. Starting my career, I was afraid of what I didn't know. As it turned out, being with RLC made me realize that this insecurity like mine could turn out to be the greatest assets in this field. This constant feeling of I have to know more, do more, made me step, and not only step, but run beyond my borders. You can only get to open yourself to opportunities you say yes to. I recently heard of this and it's largely relatable. There is a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror. Because where have you been might matter, but there's ahead of you is more important. So as for you who will be starting your own careers in a few years, so guys, konting kembot na lang gagraduate na kayo. Huwag na kayo mag-give up dito. I wish for you to just go for it. Push for what you haven't and imagine you can do. Huwag niyong isipin na hindi niyo kaya. Lagi niyong isipin kaya niyo. Mas malala pagka hindi niyo sinubukan. And life might as well as surprise you. And wish you like co-defined home like RLC, letting you do you, but letting you do more. And lastly, guys, eto, yung nanalo tayo ng Dot Property Awards as Best Luxury Condominium Development last September. So thank you guys for listening with my sa aking talk, sa our presentation. And now, to introduce to you the second speaker who is my colleague. He is architect J.B. Esmeña, graduated BS Architecture at PUP in 2015, passed the ALE in January 2018, design officer at RLC Residences since 2022 under the Business Development and Design. His project assignments were Sierra Valley Gardens at Cainta and Ceros at Bridgetown Estate. So katabi guys to ng Lepon. His career highlight is developing the new RLC brand standard. Let me give to you the mic now to Jay.
Ayan, good afternoon. Hi, PUP, especially to College of Architecture, Design, and Built Environment, no? Before CAFA lang yan. So, it's so nice to see you grow. No? Actually, I'm here naman to give you some tips. Actually, nung tinap ako, no, to do presentation, I was thinking, ano ba yung better to discuss, no, sa mga fresh grad. So, looking back, I remember na ito yung naging challenge sa akin nung ako'y bagong graduate pa lang, no. Parang before ako'y sobrang mahiyain, introvert pa, so mahina yung loob. As you can see, no, it took me 3 years pa para makuha yung courage to take the board exam. And actually, I passed naman, no. So, yan. So, and then, now I'm here in RLC, so I'm a design officer here. Just to give you a quick background, we do more on design management. So may onting design pa rin, no, sa simula. Pero mostly nung task namin is we manage the design, the standards nung brand as RLC, and then hanggang sa ma-launch siya. Yung meaning ng launch is yung open na siya to sell, no, yung mga naibebenta na siya ngayon. So ayan, yung nakikita nyo na, and then we'll itatayo na yun, and then doon naman susunod yung design management pa na susunod na yung mga approvals ng mga materials, yun, kami na rin yung nag-handle, no? So, yan. Now, for the tips actually, etong mga tips na to, no, nakuha ko rin to doon sa vlog ni Dami Lee. If you know her or if you follow her, I think malalaman nyo rin to. But may mga binago lang ako ng konti kasi yung content niya that time is for fresh graduate na high school going to college na. So may mga binago lang tayong konti para maging akma sa inyo yung talk na to. So let's go to the first tip. Una is yung practice sketching. So it doesn't mean that we need you to draw a perfect straight line or perfect circle. What we want here is to improve your mind, develop your mind, no, to think faster, produce more output. In scenario like here sa design firm, no, back when I was a design architect, we do not do it in CAD agad. So nag-sketch pa lang kami, as in multiple sketches siya, brainstorming with the team, and then we present it to the design head. So ang gagawin lang na dyan, either he'll pick 1 or 2, and then yun yung ide-develop namin. So it's very essential for us to do it quickly kasi alam mo na, we have timeline. And then here sa RLC, no, as I've mentioned earlier, we do design din dito. Hindi lang siya puro management or mga clerical works or something like that. Dito, we do the design brief. So meaning lang nun, lahat ng mga nakikita yung building ni RLC, kami yung nagko-conceptualize at first. So pati yung kung ano yung mga ide-deliver namin sa mga units, kami yung nagde-decide nun and nagde-design. So, and to do that, we need to stick doon sa timeline na binibigay sa amin, which is very short lang. So, it's very essential for you to to improve, no, dun sa mag-start by doing this exercise. So hope you'll improve it here, no. Now for the second tip, of course, sa yung digital skills. Now for digital age, hindi naman na namin na-expect na nagma-manual drafting pa tayo. And also, we do not expect that marami na kayong alam or you have the experience to do that difficult task. So what we're expecting is that you already have this skill kasi for us na mga architects na magiging colleague nyo soon, it's very easy for us to train you, lalo na kung alam nyo na itong mga to. So parang ang ibibigay na lang namin sa inyo guide is yung kung how we work as a team and how you will adapt doon sa working environment and then mga standards natin sa company, no. So here sa if you yung mga software naman hindi kailangan na lahat aralin mo, no? Magdedepende yan kung saang lugar mo siya gusto i-pursue. Like for example, here sa Philippines, yung usual naman dyan na ginagamit is AutoCAD, SketchUp, and other rendering softwares like V-Ray, Lumion, mga ganyan. But if you want to pursue your career outside or overseas, then you might want to start learning Revit, yung mga BIM softwares na yan, and then yung mga parametric, yung mga softwares na gumagawa ng parametric na type of structure. So dito naman sa RLC, just like in the Philippine setting lang naman, no, yung AutoCAD, mga ganyan. And then, as I've mentioned kanina, design management kami. So we use AutoCAD, SketchUp for plan review, and then yung Excel para sa pag-check ng mga areas na yan. So very important sa amin yung mga Excel na yan kasi we do a lot of area tabulation, yung mga ganyan. Next tip, of course, is yung portfolio, no? So this is how we etong portfolio, ito yung tinitingnan namin and this is how we evaluate you, no? How you present your design. And then we see, dito rin namin nakikita yung mga strengths nyo as a designer. So kung magaling ba kayo sa presentation, sa layout, sa design narrative, ayan. So very important yan, no? Here naman sa RLC, of course, as I mentioned, gumagawa kami dito, no? Or kami yung nagko-conceptualize at first. So it's very important for us to see you as a designer din. So, of course, may iba sa inyo na ang strength is mga sa construction siguro or yun yung gusto nyo tahakin na career path. But I think it's best that you have this para at least wala ka mang work experience, at least nakita nila paano ka nag-work as a student, no? And then for as nag-set ako dito ng mga samples, no, and as you can see, hindi naman lahat yan ka-book format. You can be creative, no, just like on the last sample na Instagram feed siya. So it's very nice to have that, no? Parang naka-QR code lang siya dun sa resume mo. And then it's easier for the hiring managers to browse your portfolio and convenient siya. So yan. Given na nasa digital age na rin tayo, so let's be creative on how we present our portfolio. So next tip is yung communication skills. So hindi naman nire-require na fluent ka sa English in the world of architecture. What I meant here is that you don't talk to architects all the time or engineers or someone that's technical in architecture or in our world. So basically, if you're in private practice or yung freelancing, syempre, you'll talk to clients. So hindi sila ganun ka-technical. So you have to know how to switch gear para to better communicate it and present the ideas to them. So here naman sa RLC, ganun din yung case, no? Even though na nasa real estate kami, hindi lahat ng nakaka-work namin dito well-versed sa architecture. So ako, nasa department ako ng business development and design. So kami, yung sector namin is design. And together with the team, or dun sa department namin, yung business development. So si business development, sila more on yung budget concern. So when we present or we seek approval to them, pag pinesent namin yung idea, syempre yung way of communication namin nagsisircle lang doon sa ano nila. So parang tinitailor namin yung mga presentation namin para mas madali yung coordination with them or ganyan. So Very few moments lang naman yung nire-require kami naka-full English dito. Kasi, just so you know, no, here in RLC, we have two categories ng project. So, kanina na-mention ni Francis yung flagship category. The other one is yung core. Most of the time, we hire foreign consultants. So, that's the only time that kailangan namin na naka-full English kami. No? So, parang nosebleed talaga tayo dyan. Ayan, mahirap. Lalo na pag mga Singaporean yung nakakausap mo. Yun lang. Pero, and then for the last tip, is yung time management. So, of course, expect na multiple projects or tasks yung gagawin mo sa company or kahit naman na nag-freelance ka, no? And you should be able to prioritize things, know when to delegate, and then kung kailan mo kailangan i-drop yung mga items na not important. Also, yung nagbigay rin ako dito ng reference ng book to improve your productivity and efficiency. Actually, I got this recommendation din sa vlog ni Damili. So, it's very recommendable na book talaga to improve your efficiency and focus, no. Hope you get a copy then. So, ayan. So, that's all for, that's the 5 tips na meron ako for today. Quick recap lang, no? So, tip 1 is to practice your sketching or improve your, develop your mind as design architect. Next tip is yung digital skills. Then build your portfolio. You improve your communication skills. And lastly, yung time management. So, that's all. Hopefully, natuto kayo kahit pa paano. And sana i-improve nyo na siya paunti-unti para at least once you graduate, no, mas madali kayong ma-hire, lalo na kung gustong-gusto nyo yung company na yon. So, yan. Thank you.
Alright, so maraming salamat to Architect Francis and Architect Jay sa napaka-inspiring at helpful na sharing this afternoon. Miss Jane, maraming salamat as well for inviting RLC Residences sa Career Development Talk. No, really appreciated. So, if ever man to our students right now, no, if you have questions, concerns, and soon, if you'll be interested to join RLC Residences, the business unit of Robinson's Land Corporation that develops condominiums or vertical properties, please send us an email sa rlcresidences.careers@robinsonsland.com. Ayan, as you can see on the slides sa screen natin. So again, maraming salamat po.
Okay, so maraming salamat RLC Residents. Maraming salamat Ma'am Eli and Sir Carlo, well as Sir Jay Espina. So, maraming salamat po and taking your time off at the same time, pag-share ng inyong knowledge, experience, and expertise sa ating mga kaisko at kaiska. Alam ko marami silang natutunan. Ito nga, sabi nga nila po, galing. Thank you, Architect, for being very insightful and inspiring daw po yung talk nyo. Yun po yung sabi ni Miss Adrian Almosera. Okay, so guys, may tanong pa po ba tayo para kay Sir Carlo? Bago po namin i-post ang link ng evaluation. So mukhang wala. Pabigyan naman si Sir ng isang masigabong palakpakan. So guys, the link for the evaluation to be able to receive your digital certificate is currently posted sa ating Zoom chat and the comment section ng ating live today. So maraming salamat sa ating industry speaker na nandito ngayon. Maraming salamat Concentrix at maraming salamat din po sa RLC resident. So guys, at least 'di ba, alam niyo na kung saan kayo pwedeng mag-apply. Nandun yung mga kuya at yung kuya or ate nyo na graduate din ng PUP. Isa na ron ang ang Robinson's Land Corporation at ang Concentrix. Pwede kayo mag-apply as an OJT at pwede rin kayo syempre mag-apply as one of their employee, di ba? So syempre kailangan natin dumami sa isang industry partner para at least, di ba, kanya-kanya matulungan natin ang bawat isa. Tama ba? So, syempre, minsan, kailangan natin ng tulong. At syempre, hahanapin natin ang mga schoolmate natin, hindi man natin batchmate. Okay. By the way, I'm Professor Jane S. Pulma of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, signing off. And this is our PUP hymn. Again, maraming salamat, PUP.